Yes, you read that right. I grew up without a sense of smell. Sometimes it gets a little tiring having to explain this every time I meet somebody new and it comes up when they ask me, "Do you smell that?" And I'm like, "Oh, well." My sister and I both, to our memory, grew up with, well, we're pretty sure that we were born without it. I mean, we can't really know. Maybe we smelled as infants and then lost it when we started having memories. Um, but yeah, so we grew up without a sense of smell. Um, I became aware that I was different probably around the age of, I don't know, 9, 8, 10, something like that. 11, something like that. Yeah, somewhere around there. Uh, I was in music theory class because Asian. And there's this girl, Amelia, who I think had a really sensitive sense of smell. And so she would always say something like, "Oh, I smell strawberries," or "I smell whatever it is that she smelled." And there would be nothing, there would be no strawberries in the room, and nowhere to be seen, right? And then lo and behold, somebody comes down the stairs with a bowl of strawberries. I'm like, what? How were you able to do that? That's like a magic trick of some kind. Like, you knew there was strawberries coming down. And yeah, that's pretty much when I figured out, yeah, no, there's something definitely different with me. So when I was 15, my sister started to be able to smell. Of course, I was very, I don't know, just sad, jealous, whatever it is. But I think a couple months later, it was after school, and I was eating at my uncle's restaurant. I was eating. Well, it doesn't really matter what I was eating. I was eating uh, Taiwanese chicken nuggets, I guess you would call it. It's the best in the world. Like, you can't compare. Um, and yeah, I was eating it, and it was just so much more different than how I usually sense it. I ate it, and there was this whole thing going on here, not just in my mouth, but I felt it here, like here in front of me as I was eating it. And I was like, what is this? And I wanted to tell someone so bad, but I was eating alone and nobody knew at the restaurant. So I was like, oh, you know? But that only lasted for that meal, and I couldn't smell again, and it was, it was so sad. And yeah, there was another time. Pretty sure I can say this. It doesn't really matter, but I was drinking, and again I drank, and it was just so much more different than how I usually drank. It was. I remember it being the alcohol. I remember thinking, wow, so this is alcohol. Like, there's this whole thing. Drinking it, and like, just this strong sense of disgust. It was, I think we were just straight up drinking whiskey, I think. No ice, no water. And I threw up. And in the morning, I couldn't smell again. And those were the two times in my life where I distinctly remembered that that must be what it likes to be able to smell. Though I was both 15 during those times. And ever since, I pretty much can't smell anything. Like, It's a grape. All right. Like there's this is the same thing as this. I don't know if actually people can smell grapes, but that's pretty much. I mean, I have this. It's this cream kind of thing. I don't know if this plant-based cream. So smell. Pretty much the same thing. Pretty much the same thing. Pretty much the same. Like pretty much like 99.999%. Like pretty much no difference. So yeah. Did I go to a doctor? Yeah, I think I went to the doctor in grade 12. And I went to the family doctor, and he gave me, to my memory, he gave me these nasal sprays. Told me to spray twice, each nostril, twice a day. So I did that. I think it might have been like some kind of nasal steroid, maybe. Can't remember. Didn't really feel that much of a difference. So he referred me to a ENT, ear, nose, throat specialist. And funny thing, he gave me cocaine. So we sat down, got in a room. He asked me a couple questions. He sprayed something up my nose, both nostrils. And he told me to wait for 10-15 minutes. He'll be back in 10-15 minutes. And I said okay. And 10 minutes went by. The spray was right beside me anyway, so I thought, oh, I'll take a look. I took it, and it said cocaine something. The only word that I recognized was cocaine. I was like, oh, what kind of hospital is this? It was medical, of course, and so the purpose of that was to numb my nose so that he could shove a tube that was a camera up my nose and see what's going on. I think it went all the way up here, like pretty much it was all the way up here, and it was all the way over here. And he said that he couldn't see anything abnormal, so he said there's not much I can do at this point. We could try experimenting with some medication, but of course you have to pay for that. And I guess I wanted to save my parents money, so I was like, yeah, it's not that big of a deal. In retrospect, I probably should have just went ahead with it. My parents could probably afford it, right? But yeah, that's pretty much my story. I feel like as I'm getting older, I feel like sometimes I can smell something, but it's just I lived most of my life not being able to smell, so I don't really ever know. But I feel like as I'm getting older, it might be coming back to me slightly, ever so slightly. But pretty much, again, like I demonstrated, I pretty much can't smell. So that's my story. I have some theories about it. Maybe I'll discuss that in another video. I feel like there's a link. Well, I have read. I thought to myself before I did any research, not that I did that much research, but before I did any Google searching, I thought that my lack of smell, it's called anosmia, by the way, kind of has something to do with depression. And I Googled it, and lo and behold, other people had the same issue. But yeah, maybe that's for another video. So if you have any questions, type it and I'll see what I can answer. And yeah, thanks for watching.